Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston here, and today I'm back for episode number 20 of my Tampa Bay Rays Let's Play series here on OOTP 18. So today we're back. 2021 is the year. We are 28 and 28 so far. Not a great start, of course, we had higher expectations coming in. Our run differential is not bad, though. We have been underplaying it for the most part. You can see we're 33 and 23 now with the Pythagorean win-loss. So before the last time I checked this, we were like 4 games over 500 when we were actually 4 games under 500. But now we're 10 games over 500 according to our Pythagorean win-loss as opposed to even. And we've been scoring a lot. We have our offense has been playing really, really well. If you just go by WRC plus, I mean, look at the number of hitters we have with, we have 4 guys over 140, 5 guys over 130, 6 guys over 120 with WRC plus. I guess 2 of them, Brantley hasn't been playing every day. Trivino doesn't really count, I guess. But Bell, Rizzo, Bowers, Rojas, all having good years. Kike Rodriguez, he's been having a good year, even though his ratings haven't been that great. Segura is now playing every day. He had not been playing every day up to this point. I just recently sent Urena down to AAA. Ramirez has been hurt. Kiermaier has been playing through his usual hamstring injury. And Kevin Padlo I need to send down. I don't know why he is playing every day. We are going to call up instead, probably this guy, Olmedo Barrero. Pitching-wise, it's also been up and down. Norris and Martinez both started out well, but their peripherals were not that great, and now their regression has hit them both hard. De Leon recently just back from Tommy John surgery, and he has not gotten a chance to start yet, but he will be getting the start in this upcoming game. Honeywell and Sale have been pretty good so far. Bullpen has been really, really bad. It has only been recently that Morin has gotten his ERA just below 5. Birdie has been bad. Faedo's been back and forth between the rotation and the bullpen. He's made 2 starts. He's looked a lot better out of the bullpen. That's where he should stay. Nick Birdie has not been good either, so the Birdie brothers, I don't know if they're fighting or something or like what's going on with them. But the strikeout to walk ratios aren't bad. I guess that's probably the home runs. Maybe some of that will regress to the norm. Trevor May has been good. Rivero has been okay. Barrett's been decent in spot duty. And disabled list, we're without Puke and Blake Snell. Both of them just down recently. Puke will be back. Puke, whatever you say. I gotta learn how to pronounce all these guys' names, I swear. But all right, let's do the first year player draft. So we've got the 21st pick. And we will see if we can get to anyone half decent. Jorge Morales. Any of these guys. Josh Klopper. Might honestly be our best option. Ooh. This guy looks good. This first baseman. Tristan Anderson. Maybe him. This other first baseman. I like the other one better, though. This guy's good. Ooh, John Burns. And he plays shortstop. So probably that John Burns guy or the first baseman. I don't think we don't have a compensation pick, so who was the first? It was Ernesto Aguirre? No. It was Ron Sequist. I think I'm going to go with the shortstop, though. The name was Burns. John Burns. Here we go. Draft to meet demand. Second round. Yeah, these drafts are not very good. Unfortunately. Some of these guys could be decent. This guy plays the infield, at least Tristan Anderson. Probably go with Anderson, so we get 2 infielders. And then we'll see if either of those first basemen fall. They do not. This guy did. Corser. So we'll get him. And then we've only been looking at batters this whole time. Jonathan Vetter. This guy, worth drafting over everyone else, I would say. If he falls, he won't. Nice. Doug Lookingbill. Sure, why not? Trust our amateur, trust our scout, why not? And let's just complete the draft from there. So, not a great draft. And we were only looking at batters. I sometimes forget to do that, switch it to all players. But anyway, on the bright side, I am expecting us to go on a run here soon. I think our run differential is more indicative of how good our team is. We've had a lot of wins by, our offense has put up a lot of, 15-run games, 18-run games, double-digit run games. We've won games by double digits. So I feel pretty good about the Major League team. Farm system, not great, but we're trying to win now. And I don't really think, we haven't really drafted a stud prospect in a while or gotten one of the international amateurs or anything like that. So we are back July 2nd. Now only 2 games over 500. It was an up and down month of July for us. We got out to a really good start, or month of June, excuse me. Got out to a really good start. You can see we won 6-7 straight right there, but then lost 3 of 4, lost 5 in a row right there. And we corrected a little bit there towards the end of the month, but we just lost. We did take 2 of 3 from Kansas City, but actually 3 of 4. No, we split the 4-game series. We did take 2 of 3 from Austin, though, so starting to play a little bit better now, up to 2 games over 500. We had slipped all the way back to 500. 3.5 back of Toronto, and the run differential still really good. I mean, I don't really feel like I don't want to really add a starter. I mean, Martinez and Norris, I have faith that at least one of these guys can be, a 4th starter in a playoff spot, in a playoff rotation, probably Norris at this point. And we also have guys like Puck and De Leon out of the bullpen who can start. So I don't feel like we need a starter. I feel like a reliever maybe would be an add. As for the lineup, I haven't looked at the lineup in a little while, but it seems like we've still been scoring a lot of runs. Rizzo's been having a good year. Segura doing pretty much all we can ask for him at a shortstop. I'm pretty pleased with his production. Hernandez, I guess that's really the spot you could upgrade, because he's been good, but I don't really trust him. I mean, I like him more in a bench role. Kiermaier, Hurst, we have Hurst playing. I really would rather have Brantley be playing in left field. Hurst has not been that good. He's been serviceable, but not someone I want playing every day. I'd rather have him as the backup outfielder because he can play center field, but Brantley really needs to be DHing with Bowers in left. So someone pointed me onto this, that I can actually force start a guy like Michael Brantley at DH if I want to. So let's see if that actually works, because I've never really used the player strategy before in this. But alright, that actually worked. So now Brantley DHs, and see, this is where it gets annoying still. So now I have to player strategy a few of these different guys. Bell in right field, and Bowers in left field. And then hopefully that will just make Hurst the 4th outfielder. And it does just that, so that's perfect. And I'm going to force start Segura at shortstop, because that's where I want him playing, even though I know he's better at second base. Well, I guess for now, Hernandez, we'll take Segura at second base because he does play better second base than shortstop. But if we get a shortstop, or if we get a second baseman, and man, there's never any good international free agents, I swear. It's so weird. Like, look at these guys. None of them. Fuentes maybe, but our scouts hate him. Oh, alright. Well, we'll keep forging ahead. At the All-Star break, we are 2 games under 500. We just took 2 of 3 from the Red Sox, who are in 4th place, but we're 5 games back of New York, 3 back of Toronto, 4 back in the loss column. They are the second wildcard team. Actually, no. Minnesota is the second wildcard team, so we are actually 5 games out of a playoff spot. Minnesota has a better record than New York, so it is not looking good for us. Even though our run differential is still pretty good, we are not playing well, and I don't know if it's going to correct in time, and it might, it's coming to the point where maybe we have to think about being sellers at the deadline, because we do have some intriguing pieces to sell, like Anthony Rizzo, who is a free agent at the end of the year. He got off to a really good start, has been not playing quite as well, not quite as well as of late, but you can see the kind of contract he's looking for. Not something I would really want to sign him to, but if we were sellers, we could flip him for something that, would help the team next year. We still have good pieces to build around for, if we're thinking about contending in 2022. We still have Bell, Kiermaier, Bowers, Ramirez, even Segura is a guy we could potentially keep. He has that vesting option, and I like the production he's given us so far. At shortstop, is not really that middle infield. We just don't really have anything. We haven't had anything at those middle infield spots for a long time. Now we have Ramirez and Segura, 2 infielders, so I feel like we want to keep. But I don't know. I mean, give it some more time. We'll give it to the break, see if we can. I want to give it all that time we can possibly have to possibly make a run, but it's not looking great right now. We'll look at the All-Star teams. We really need better pitching is the problem, I think. I don't think it's the offense so much. But let's see. So you have Chris Sale making the All-Star team. He has had a home run problem this year, only 1.1 F4. Still a good, not F4, God. Still a good strikeout to walk ratio, though. Rizzo's an All-Star. Who else? It looks like Rizzo's a starter, too, which is cool. Jake Bauers is also a starter. He's got 2.9 WAR. So those are our 3 All-Stars. So trade deadline time, 2 days ahead of July 31st, and we are 3 games under 500, 7 games back now. In the division, Toronto has collapsed. We are still quite a ways behind Minnesota for that second wildcard spot. You can see the NL West pretty good this year with Houston and Texas. One of those teams is going to get a wildcard spot, so we'd have to catch Minnesota. We're 8 back in the loss column for Minnesota. So at this point, it just doesn't look like we're going to contend. I don't think it's going to correct before the end of the year. It's been 4 months. I know it's pretty dumb. I don't know how to describe it or explain it, but I feel like, honestly, at this point, we should just be sellers, I think, holding out for a playoff spot. I mean, I just don't think Anthony Rizzo, we're going to re-sign him. So, at the very least, we have to shop him around, and other veterans on the team possibly, like Norris or Martinez, but definitely Anthony Rizzo. So we've skipped all the way ahead to July 30th now, and I've been exploring the sellers market, but there just doesn't really appear to be one for a lot of the guys that, I'm trying to move, like Rizzo and Segura. Some of the guys that I would think about peeling off this team for, more future assets. And honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think we might be better off going the other way. I mean, I look at the way our team is playing, and maybe I'm being a little bit more rational about it, but 6.5 out both in the wild card and the standings. The way our run differential is, I'm starting to talk myself into, at the very least, keeping this team together. And I just think that the deals, I don't want to burn the trade finder because you only can do 3 of these per day. These shop players, and I'm going to use the others. I think what I'm going to try and do in trying to better this team is possibly shop these starters. I want to get DeLeon back in the rotation. I mean, he's been very good out of the bullpen so far, and at the very least seems like he would have to get a rotation spot over one of these guys. So if we're going to possibly either lock him in or just try to move one of these guys, I'd rather maybe get another reliever for one of these two. Our bullpen is in pretty solid shape. I'm not hell-bent on upgrading that. As for position players, the only position I really think we could upgrade is DH. Other than that, I'm pretty fine. Hernandez is not perfect at shortstop, but if we had to put Ibanez back in and we could put Ramirez at shortstop or Segura at shortstop, that's fine by me. So I think the infield's fine. I really think it gets just that DH spot. So we could add any position player and then move a guy like, Jake Bauers to DH and put somebody in left field. We could put Hernandez in left field. So there's really, the DH spot's very flexible. But as for pitchers, the main thing I want to do is just get DeLeon back into the rotation. Possibly even Puck too, but he has not looked great out of the bullpen, walking a lot of batters, but still maybe a spot start at the very least. So there were a few intriguing offers for Carlos Martinez, and I look at his contract situation. He has $17 million guaranteed for next season, and I don't really know if I want to be tied into that going into the offseason the way he's pitched this year. So he's been okay. He's been solid, I would say, but just not someone I want to pay $17 million to, that is for sure. So if I have the opportunity to get out of that, I think I will. So there are a few intriguing offers. There's the Red Sox. They have Rodriguez and Blake Swihart. Swihart makes a little too much money, though, for how good he is. Schwarber, kind of the same thing. He makes a lot of money, in our terms, just because $7 million for a DH. I don't really know if I want to be paying that. Especially when you think about, I guess he would be under team control for 1 more year. So think about what you want to pay him next year too. Probably a little bit too much for our blood. Trevor Story, kind of the same thing, but at least he can play the infield a little bit. His offensive numbers have not been the same though the last 2 years, and he ups his game of life. I don't really know what that means, but he can play the infield. He can't really play shortstop, but I don't know what that scouting report means. He will up his game and vie for a roster spot. Okay. Real Muto. Kind of an interesting one at catcher, but we're fine at catcher. We have Rojas. Some other good outfielders. I think the young, Rodriguez, though, or Cody Medeiros seems like the one that intrigued me the most so far. The ones, Rendon. Not too bad. Then there's this guy. But he's 32. He makes a lot of money. So I know you're not really trying to cut payroll this year, but at the very least, this could free up money for a separate trade. The Red Sox or a Medeiros from the White Sox. The scouts don't love him. Rodriguez has been solid. I think this is probably going to be the move. He's solid. He can be that 5th starter / swing guy, I would say. And maybe we get a reliever too. So this is kind of an intriguing trade. Martinez, Urena, and Eddie Ibanez for Rodriguez. And this Kevin McAvoy, who's got 4.5-star potential as a starter, but his ratings don't really blow me away. So I don't really think that's worth giving up Urena and Ibanez. If it was one or the other, I think I would do it. But giving them both up kind of leaves our infield a little bit shorthanded. We're relying a little bit too much on Kike Hernandez. So at the very least, I would even want to keep Urena, but obviously Ibanez has a little bit higher stock, I would say, because he's been a productive player in the past at the very least. Urena hasn't really ever been, I don't know. I guess you would hold him in the same regard. I don't know. They were both not that good. So this is the Carlos Martinez trade we're going to do, and it's pretty much a salary dump. I mean, we're not really getting great value for Martinez, but we're getting out of the contract, and we're only throwing in Dwight Smith Jr., Jake Barrett. We're getting Medeiros, Reynaldo Lopez, Sean Armstrong. Medeiros really the only guy I think could turn out to be a starter at some point. We'll see if that changeup develops. I hope his ratings can get a little bit better, but he's already 25. We'll see on that. Still, though, a guy we could throw into the back-end mix. Lopez and Armstrong, 2 righties. So we're going to do this trade, like I said, mostly a salary dump. But you look at that bullpen, so we put De Leon into the rotation. We have Puck, who hasn't been too reliable. We have already sent Nick Birdie down, and Zach Birdie is also not having a good year. I don't know if they just hate each other or something. It's very weird that they're both having terrible years. But let's put Reynaldo Lopez, and we'll probably activate Sean. So the other guy is Daniel Norris. And I feel a little bit better about holding on to him because we have the leverage with him contract-wise. At the very least, we could non-tender him if we really didn't want to pay him and couldn't trade him for anything. I'll probably look at what his market will be at the very least, but I don't feel as strongly about trading him as I did Carlos Martinez. Still, though, we kind of have maybe 1 or 2 too many pitchers if we want these guys to be in the bullpen. Still, though, I'll probably send Medeiros down to AAA. And put him on the 40-man, but I want him starting in AAA. All right, so we have Cody Medeiros locked in as a starter in AAA. Hopefully he develops. Doesn't seem too great of a chance as a starter, but we have Lopez, so we'll have Puck or De Leon in the rotation for now, and it's going to be De Leon. That's good. So the question is, do we want Puck in there as well? That seems like a little bit too shaky, especially if we're going to be relying on one of those guys to be your Game 4 starter. I think you'd rather have Daniel Norris. And this kind of surprises me, but the offers for Norris, not really as good. This is the only guy I've seen that's actually been better. Matt Carpenter, but not really the kind of guy. This have the vesting option. That'll probably, maybe it won't be. I don't know. Maybe it won't get picked up. Interesting. Plays first base. Could be a good add as a bat down the stretch, but then you're really leaving the rotation in a iffy spot. I don't think that's really worth it. I'd rather have Norris. Carpenter, though, maybe Carpenter's the guy you go after. Hold on. All right, so here is the Matt Carpenter trade we're going to do. He's probably going to fill in at that DH spot, and he's just been a very good hitter so far. Good hitter last year, too. I think he's the perfect guy to add into that lineup. He's left-handed, which maybe not ideal with our guys, but we could slot him in at the, well, I don't know if I want him with his base running ability, hitting first or second, but we'll see where the manager puts him. He's going to slot in Brantley's slot anyway, so we've already had a lefty there. We're trading him in the trade, as well as Unruh, Trevino, and Scott Hurst. Hurst will allow us to call up this guy, Ramiro Rodriguez, who we traded for in the Houston trade. But anyway, he will be activated in Scott Hurst's spot. Of course, Hurst was the Rule 5 draft pick, so we have to get rid of him if we want to call up Rodriguez no matter what. Trevino is really the only guy I kind of don't want to give up in this, but I think it's worth it to get Carpenter. So we're doing that trade. And yes, it's too bad Trevino was also a leader in the clubhouse, so to say. But I think, like I said, it will be worth it. So we need a backup catcher. We'll call up Luke May, however you say his name, Carpenter. Still don't really have room in the bullpen for Armstrong, but let's do... Alright, so Carpenter is our trade deadline ad. I think we did a good job of not really investing too much into this year's team, but still, I think we have a good chance now. We have a really good lineup, I would say. I mean, not great, but it's pretty solid up and down. I mean, Rizzo's the 5-hitter, Bell, Bowers, Rojas, Segura at the top. You have Carpenter hitting 6th. I mean, look at how good Carpenter's been. I don't expect him to be that good rest of the way, but still, you know, we have a pretty solid lineup. I'm hoping that, you know, the key is going to be if the pitching can get better, if the bullpen can sort of straighten out with guys like Zach Birdie. I mean, he's given us 41 innings, and he's been really, really crappy so far. So it's tough when you have guys like that pitching a lot of innings in your bullpen. Same thing with Daniel Norris, and then just guys like Sale and Snell haven't been as good as we wanted them to be. But, you know, hopefully those are things that can correct in the second half. And like I said, I just made the decision that even with a guy like Rizzo, who's a free agent at the end of the year, the market for him just wasn't good enough in terms of getting long-term assets. So we made the decisions that we made. We traded for Carpenter, and we got those bullpen pieces. We flipped Martinez. That will get De Leon back in the rotation. And like I said, if De Leon struggles, we'll have Puck, whatever his name is. I guess it's Puck. We have Tyler Alexander, Buck Farmer, Cody Medeiros, plenty of guys we can throw in there for that 5th starter spot, even if it has to be a rotating house of cards, so to say. But anyway, let's move past the trade deadline. See if we win this game. That would pull us to 1 game within 500. Within 1 game of 500, and there we do. 7-4. Let's take a look at the standings. Only 5 games back of the Yankees, 6.5 of Minnesota in the wild card. But that's the key. I mean, I think it's going to be if we can catch the Yankees and Toronto. Neither have been playing that great of baseball as of late, so I think there's definitely a window of opportunity for us. So that is going to do it. I hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, the next episode will be a playoff episode. Maybe it will be one of those end of the year September episodes if the race is really, really tight. But anyway, that is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.